Welcome back. We're here with Queen. And Queen, we got some more questions from the chat room. So we're going to go to Chelsea in the chat room and find out what these questions are. Chelsea?
One person would like to know, do you have a mentoring program?
The question out there, if everybody didn't hear, is do I have a mentoring program? And no, I do not right at this time, but I would love to start one. That's one of my goals and dreams in life, to be able to give back to everyone, and children especially, like you talked about, because so many people have been great in my life. I actually had a mentor. Her name was Belletta Crowley, and she came into my life when I was 15 years old, and she's still in my life. And I mean, I looked to her for advice and the questions, and so I'm big on mentoring and giving back, and I definitely want to be that person to start that program. So Queen, you ever thought about doing a mentoring program?
Yeah, that's great, because I was my sister left home when I was very young, and I grew up with 4 boys, my brothers, and I had to go to the church and have the female interaction and the just learning. I had a big sister. Everybody in the church was my cousin, my sister, my uncle, my grandma. So it's good. It's always a extended family. But mentoring, I think, is a great idea. And I have many people in my life still now that are mentoring me as I move along. And it seems like it always, wherever you go, wherever you move, is always somebody there before you to help you out and give you a helping hand. So I think that's a very important aspect that should be implemented as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm definitely got to start working on that one. Y'all guys got me working out there. Okay, we got another question coming from the chat room, Chelsea.
This one's a heavy one.
Okay.
For both of you. I have issues with a family member that murdered my father. I need to know what I have to do to move past it.
That's a good question. So the question was, is an issue with a family member who murdered their father, and they're trying to move past this whole issue. And I always say you have to learn how to forgive. You have to be the one to forgive. Not to forget, but forgiveness, because if you don't, it's going to carry a burden on yourself. And you're going to carry that, and it's gonna eat you up inside. It's not gonna hurt the person who's done the crime. It's gonna hurt you more. So you have to learn to give that to God. You know what I'm saying? And let Him handle that. Because no one, when they think they're getting away with something, they really haven't got away with nothing. And all things come back to you. So what I would say to that one, Queen, I would say you really have to forgive. You really have to look past that person and what they have done. And I know it's harder. It's easier said than done. That's what they always say. But forgiveness is a key thing. And you know what, Tyler Perry talked about that in his last movie, Madea Goes to Jail, how forgiveness is so key. If you don't forgive people, it's like something that eats at you and hinders you from getting your blessing. So you definitely want to learn how to forgive people. What would you have to say to that young lady?
I ditto. Forgiveness is the key. And I guess when we think about forgiveness, sometimes people see it as a cliche. Oh, I know they're going to say forgiveness. But you really need to see what in you, if you don't forgive, you're still tied to the situation, and you're still tied to the person. So even in forgiving them, you have to forgive yourself too, to be free from it, to be free from that, because life does go on. But the thing is that sometimes when we don't learn forgiveness, if we really want to go past something, and we learn how to overcome a certain situation, it's still going to be certain situations that come up that's going to be repeated. Situations where you need to be forgiven. You may do something to someone and you need to be forgiven, because life teaches us lessons in the way that they see. They show us where we are. Wherever we are, we can learn the lesson wherever we are in our mind. So forgiveness is a big thing and a good thing, because it releases you. It releases you from that. Not that that person they're going to pay. They'll have their own payday. But in you, to be able to, in your mind, say, I honestly forgive. I honestly forgive this person. I'm honestly going to move forward. Not only is in my words, I'm going to do it in my actions. And you may have to be, some people have to take a back seat in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do. And then until you can learn to do that, it's always going to come and haunt you. And I can say that from personal experience, things that's happened to me in my life that they said I should be affected by that on today.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes again to your faith and what you believing in and loving yourself. Don't cheat yourself out of a whole life with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your thoughts, the knowledge that you can give. Don't cheat yourself out of that because of someone else did. So you're no longer attached to that situation anymore. It's time for you to move to the next level because you understand that it happened and you're never going to forget that it happened, but you want to be able to move from that point to the next point in life. And it all consists of love, forgiveness, and moving forward to the next thing that's coming on in your life.
You said something that was very key, detachment. We have to become detached from the outcomes of things in life.
That's right.
And I'm a big Dr. Wayne Dyer fan. I read a lot of his books, and that's one of the things he talks about, the detachment part. And that's key, become detached from the outcomes. You have to, because if you do, like you said, it eats you up. You feel like you were the reason or the problem. Let it go.
Right. And if you feel like that you can't do it in and of yourself, get some help. It's okay to get help. We all need help in some situation because that's what I call willingness.
Mm-hmm.
If you saying, oh, I've tried to forgive and I just can't give it, or you in the mindset, well, I can't forgive, that is something terrible, because it is a terrible act. You acknowledge what's going on, but then what's your next step? You acknowledge it going on and it did happen, so what's your next step? So you always have to be open and willing to do that next step.
Very true, very true. So, once again, those phone lines are open. Queen and I are here to talk with you guys, so make sure you're calling in. And we go into the chat room again. Chelsea?
Earlier you mentioned, Tasha, that you have a mentor. What does your mentor do and why was she your mentor?
It's funny how my mentor came about. My mentor actually played basketball at the University of Kentucky, and she actually was All-American. She was really good. She actually was on one of our Olympic teams. And she came into my life at a time, it was kind of weird when she came into my life, to be honest, because I had just lost somebody very near and dear to me, which wasn't my father, but was like my father.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having to go to this game that I didn't want to go to because he had just passed away. And I was like, man, I don't want to go. I don't want to even play. I don't feel like doing nothing but staying in my room and just bawling. So I went to this game, and I actually had the opportunity. I did excellent that game. I guess I took that frustration or that anger out on the court, which that was a lot of outlet for me as well, the basketball court. And I did very well. And so she came to my coach and she said, I would like to work with that girl. I see a lot of potential in her. And that's what you talked about, seeing it in our youth and our younger people. Right. She seen something in me I didn't see in myself. Mm-hmm. And so she came to my coach, and then my coach introduced me to her, and she took the time every day to take me to the basketball court. I used to go to the YMCA. After basketball practice, she would take and work with me one-on-one to improve my skills, to get me better, and to make sure I was at these camps. It just took me the extra mile because she seen the potential in me. And like I said, that mentor was like I said, I mean, like, she was the best thing that probably ever happened to me, because I remember sometimes my sister say, where's my mentor? It came along with the good gifts and going out to eat and all that good stuff, but she was very influential in my life. And I hope that I answered that question correctly, Chelsea, but that's how my mentor came about, and that's where she comes from. She actually lives in Kentucky. And like I said, I talk to her on a regular basis still. Mm-hmm. She's on my Facebook, too. So